All right, everybody, good evening. Welcome to the Black Diamond Call. John Levinier, your host here with you. As always, we're going to have a fun call tonight. As we did this morning, we had a fun wake-up call with our friend Cassandra. We have another powerful lady with us here tonight to share in our festivities. And let me see, do I have any announcements? Well, I'll just remind you that we've got some big events coming up. The biggest event of all, of course, is Apex, and that's happening in Whistler, British Columbia. We're going to have a Winter Wonderland experience up there next month. That's the 18th through 24th, I believe. And, of course, if you are an Apex ticket holder, you're going to want to go ahead and register those tickets like now so they know who's coming and, you know, who's your guest, do you have any special needs, stuff like that. And you can find the registration page to get all the data and give all the data that you need to give right inside your Digital Altitude members site. If you're on the home page there, you're logged into your Digital Altitude members site, just click on the Apex tab. You've got the different colored tabs at the top of the screen, and just click on Apex, and you'll be able to register your ticket right there. Also, we do have our Marketing Mastery event for spring 2008 that was just announced. Way early birds here. So if you guys want to be early, super early, you can go ahead and you can start registering seats right now. That's going to be in San Diego, California, at one of the big skyscraper hotels there. I think it's the Hyatt. It's one of the ones that you can see whenever you look at the San Diego skyline. Big production, which is, would Michael Force have it any other way? I think not, right? We're going to one of the best venues in Southern California, and you can get information on that in your email and also via your Digital Altitude member site. I will also post links for that in future calls, but that is going to be in March, late March, I believe. So, of course, I will be there, as I am at every event. But now, right now, it's Monday night, so that means it's time for our Black Diamond Call. So our usual disclaimers, especially for any brand new people who are joining us here. You may have never experienced this before. This call's a bit of a, sometimes a bit of a wild ride. We cover whatever topics we feel like, and we talk about whatever we feel like, because this is the call where we share openly about what got us to the top, as the name of the call implies, right? The Black Diamond. Any of you skiers, you certainly know what that means. That means expert level stuff. So you're going to hear my opinion on stuff, you know, things that have helped me to become successful in business and in life. And you're also going to hear my guest speaker's opinion on stuff. My suggestion is see how these ideas actually apply into your life, right? This is not just for entertainment value. This is for use, right, as is all worthy education. So take what you like and leave the rest. And then, of course, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how I roll. And this is the Black Diamond Call. So this is my show. That's what I do. So so there's that. What are we talking about here tonight? Well, let me just set the stage with the fact that I had the pleasure to, let me correct my words there for a minute. I had the pleasure to coach this person just a few months ago. That's right. A few months ago, this person wandered in out of the woods like a babe and didn't know which way was which, and we got to have some conversations. And one of those conversations included topics like leadership, you know, and creating some expectation around that and recognizing how powerful we actually are and not just succumbing to the circumstances of life, which frankly got us here, right, looking for an opportunity. It's not like we already know stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't have never showed up here. And so here we are, right? Here we are. So what are you going to do with that opportunity? And here's a person who just in the last couple of months, I mean, my goodness, brand new, has already made about $70,000. And that's just the amount that she's actually put in her pocket. And which is a really, I guess I need to maybe offer a disclaimer. We're all members here, right? So it's not like any guests are being snuck onto this line, but you guys know that that's not a guarantee that other people are going to make 70 grand in their first 3 or 4 months or whatever it's been. Okay, I hope you make more. I hope you make 5 times that. Go make a spectacle of yourself. That's awesome, right? Some people make a lot of money. Some people make little money. I remember, in fact, in my case, excuse me, still getting my voice back here. I remember in my case, when I was a newbie in this industry, when I was just coming in out of the woods, I looked at people who made, you know, like even $20,000 a month. I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's what I want to make. I've been wanting to make that kind of money for years and years, and I've failed to for years and years. And when I finally found a group of people who were actually doing it and with some integrity could teach me how to do it too, man, I just grabbed on and didn't let go. And I remember those first few months of building momentum, and my first $20,000 month was my third month in the industry. And then my first six-figure month was my seventh month in the industry. And this person's on track to do those sort of numbers. Now, does that make me special or her special? Well, only if you create a line of demarcation, like some imaginary wall of separation between you and who you perceive these top earners to be. Here's a person who broke down that wall. That's what this is about. This is about leadership. This is about saying, you know what, I'm the next top earner here, says me, okay? And no, John Lavinia, you're not special, but you've demonstrated something which I too can demonstrate. And then if people want to say that we're special, well, they can say whatever they want, but we're here to lead. We're here to make stuff happen in our own lives and in the lives of people who will also look to us for guidance, because after all, we know where we're going, which is an essential component of leadership. I mean, would any sane person follow you if you didn't know where you were going? Obviously not. We've got a lot of insane people on the planet too, but this person tends to attract those who are looking for something more, those who are looking for increase, and who are, like I was all those years ago, just looking for someone who could show me what to do, because obviously my best thinking wasn't getting me where I wanted to go, right? So that's also a component of all this, is being coachable, because the best students become the best leaders, right? So there's a bit of an opening monologue. Now, you may be guessing who I'm talking about. Some of you, it's already been announced to, but again, here's a person who, I should mention also, she's also a great giver. In fact, she's got something she wants to give away to everybody tonight. So that's a mystery, and we'll just have to hear from her about what that is. But you guys are in for a ton of value tonight. So take notes if you like taking notes, and of course we will have open Q&A at the end of these sessions. So who am I talking about? I'm talking about my friend Jenn Wiemann from Nebraska. Hey there, Jenn. How you doing?
Yay, I'm so good, John. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, just belting the words out here. My throat is tightening up a little bit, so I'm going to hand the mic over to you to give my throat a rest.
Sounds good. I'm glad I can help you out tonight. So I just want to start out by saying thank you to John. He was my coach. He is my coach. He just coached me on how to set up this whole call tonight. And he's just so patient and kind. This whole, and I want to say thank you to everybody in this company. You guys, this is a great company. I just have to start out by saying that. This is a great company. I lived on these calls when I started. I still get on them on SoundCloud. There's so much goodness and so much to learn in these calls. So
thank you for that, Jenn. Thank you for that acknowledgement. It's it's a very purposeful thing that we're doing here, and I'll just speak for all the other people who are on the regular call staff. Cassandra and Eli and everyone, Glenn, of course, Pierre and Joel, right, and Kathy Flynn on Tuesday nights, and we just we have fun, and we we attempt to give people the most acceleration we can, through the live calls like we're doing right now, and of course the podcast, which, by the way, Jenn, I don't know if you know that, but way more people listen on iTunes and SoundCloud and Google Play and Stitcher Radio on Demand than come here on the live sessions, because we're all over the world. So you're going to be immortalized on the interwebs here as soon as I post that podcast episode.
Yay, because I have a great message tonight to share with lots of people, so I'm
awesome.
Excited. Yeah. So you were saying a little bit about the MME in San Diego, and actually right before I got on the call, I was booking my room there, and wow, that place looks awesome. I'm so excited. Cannot even tell you how much I learned at the last MME in Vegas. It was, if you have not booked the tickets to go, you guys, you have to do it. That's where my business took off. That's where it launched. That's where I got to meet all of these people that I talk to every single day, and it was amazing. So if you need to move mountains to get there, because it is worth it. Yeah, so I want to start out with a little giveaway. So I want to encourage some messages on the message board tonight, some excitement going on from everybody. In order to qualify for this giveaway, you have to be actively commenting and interacting on the chat. So if I ask a question, I want to see some answers, and then I want you to stay all the way to the end, because I am going to be giving, I am going to be giving away John's book. I ordered one and I got an extra one. So the book Integrity is Everything. So, I already see people popping on. Good job, you guys. They're excited for your book, John.
Yay! I'm excited for it too. That's one of the best things I think I've ever decided to do as a not only a business guy, a marketer, and everything, but as someone who really has dug into the philosophy of and psychology of success over the last 3 decades. That book is like 9 years old now. So thanks for buying a copy. Yeah, that's awesome.
You bet. I bought 2. One
Yay.
for me and one for one very blessed interactive listener.
Awesome. Wow, what a great gift.
Awesome. Well, I just want to start out with a little bit about me and my background, and then give a little goodness about leadership. So my adventures before DA included college, where I went through 5 majors, 6 years, and $60,000 in debt, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated. So I ended up being a stay-at-home mom, which is what I really wanted to do, with a photography business and a personal training business as well. So I was learning, after reading Kiyosaki's book, I learned that I did not own businesses. I was self-employed, and I was running my tail off for not very much income. So when I found DA, I felt like I was home. That was the first time I felt like that was where I was supposed to be. I fell in love with my team. I fell in love with the leaders. I fell in love with the people who you see. I mean, Michael, I saw him every single day, going through the trainings, and I just was mesmerized by this company, and I knew that I had to be a part of it. And like I said, John was my coach, and John believed that I was a leader before I did. He saw something inside of me that I had never seen before, something that I didn't even know was there. And sometimes it just takes that one person to recognize that light shining within you. And then that light becomes so bright that it's unstoppable. So that's a little bit about my adventure into DA. And then what I've learned since then. Are you guys still there? Are you still with me? Yeah.
We're all here. Everybody's muted except for you and me right now.
I know. I'm just looking at the chat. Just looking at the chat. So what I pictured when I was like, kind of coming up with this and thinking about what I wanted to, yes, look at that. When the people were, when I was coming up with what I wanted to say or thinking on it, I imagined myself as like Mel Gibson in the Braveheart when he was William Wallace, and he was like prepping his men for battle, and he was on his horse, and he was giving the freedom speech. Has anybody seen that? Yeah, that's what I imagine myself being. So I hope that I can portray that to you guys. My goal today is to transfer the knowledge that every single one of you listening are leaders. So can you tell me how you define leader? Give me some things in the chat on how you would define leader. While I'm waiting for that, I'll give you, Eleanor Roosevelt says, to handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. And then William Arthur Ward says, the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. Awesome, we're getting some good listener, building people up. Susie says, teachers who set good examples. Tracy says, strong, inspirational. Wayne, awesome, you guys. I love them. Sarah says, full of heart. Somebody said, working with your staff. Awesome. There's a lot of great ways to define a leader. A great leader never loses sight of the truth. A fearless leader never asks his or her team to jump without taking the leap. I promise you, your wings will not be perfect right off the bat. Heck, I had to build mine on the way down. That's when fear and panic can kick in, but the only way to fail is to never jump, to let that fear define you. A strong leader knows how to work hard and digs in with everything they are, but honors rest and balance and boundaries. Has anybody here played high school sports or college sports? Anybody? Yep. Mark says yes. Oh, we had one person say no. No? Well, I'll tell you, I tried high school. I tried high school volleyball, and I'll tell you what, I was the underdog. I was not very graceful. I was not very aggressive. John, can you imagine that with me being not very aggressive?
You know, I won't let the cat out of the bag, pun intended. But yeah, you were pretty aggressive with your Facebook approach.
Okay, so cat videos are awesome, all right? But I was the underdog. I always had to study harder. I had to practice harder. You know, my volleyball coach, he noticed that I was a hard worker in practice, but I was never the captain. But I practiced and encouraged others like I was. So that first time that he ever felt like he could put me in the game, let me tell you what, I killed it. I killed it. But that's because I dug deep and I pushed hard. Then I gave it everything I had. I worked hard, but I knew when to rest. Another quality of a leader is they're successful, but because they know their why. So my why in this business is I'm giving my children a childhood full of opportunities, opening their eyes, hearts, and minds to the world around them, providing freedom of time for my family so we can fully live an abundant and joyful life together, and to always give the glory to my Creator. Now, that might not be your why, but a great leader always knows their why and helps their team recognize and reminds them of theirs. Another quality of a leader is they're loyal. A captain always goes down with his ship. A shepherd leaves the flock in search for one lost sheep. A leader is someone who knows their team inside out and utilizes all the talents to complete the mission. Look at Michael Forrest and his team. He knows that he couldn't ascend the mountain by himself. He had a team. He has a team. He utilizes what they're good at, their talents. He brings that out inside of them so that they recognize it themselves. And then he expects them to be the leaders in that area in their community. So maybe it's less about being the captain and more about being the tide, the rising tide that raises all of the ships. So I would love to see how you recognize yourself as a leader. Where are you a leader? Are you a leader in your home? Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're a pastor or a foreman. Heck, a lot of you are business owners. So go ahead and drop it. Drop it right here where you're a leader in this chat. I'd love to see. At home, with their wife's permission. ICU nurse. Ministry leader at church. Coach. Wow, Sarah homeschools her children. That's awesome, Sarah. A leader in the university, photography business. Awesome, Mark. In life in general, absolutely. So even as leaders, we understand that life is not always easy, and it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies and pieces of cake. Struggles, yeah, they come, and they're not fun. But as a leader, we understand that we'll get through it. Actually, I had a friend share with me this morning this quote, and it was just more fitting than she could ever know. Struggles are moments to adapt yourself as a better leader. Hard times don't mean it's time to quit. How fitting is that? As a leader, we understand that we are here to serve. We are here to recognize the need of our team and to help them move forward. We're here to recognize the qualities that everybody brings to the team that can help it be successful. So, tonight we talked about how a leader is fearless, strong, successful, loyal. I just want you to think about all those qualities. Just take a second and think. How can you implement those qualities into your own life? As you build your business, as you coach your team, as you parent your children, as you encourage your spouse, absolutely. So with that, I just want to say, whether you've seen yourself as a leader or you haven't, I recognize it in you. Every single person that came on this call tonight has stepped up to be a leader. Leaders show up. Leaders are there. Each of you is a leader. I don't ever want you to forget that. So as a leader, it's not always about sharing your knowledge, as it's about transferring your excitement, your energy, your passion to the people around you, to your team, and even to yourself. You know, some days you can be the strongest leader, and the next day you can look at yourself and feel terrible. But if you always remember that it's not about sharing your knowledge so much as it is about transferring your excitement, your energy, your passion to your team. Awesome, you guys. I love what I'm seeing in the chat. I love it. Wayne says, sometimes just listening is enough. Absolutely. Somebody says, I used to see myself as a leader. Well, the fact that you're here says that you're a leader. Absolutely. Awesome, you guys. Well, that is what I have for tonight about leaders. I love that. Every leader considers every team member to be part of a family. I think that's what it said. That's awesome. All right, you guys. So I love it. Jenn equals leader, consistency. That's awesome, you guys. Keep it up. John, I think you need to have a giveaway with the chat because you're getting lots and lots of involvement in the chat.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, this is probably somewhere near the most chats we've had. I think the most we've ever had is something like 300, but we got 195 so far. So anyway, Jenn, you know what? I'm gonna jump in here before. It sounds like you're wrapping up your monologue here, and you want to interact with some people.
I would love to.
Okay. Well, before we do that, then you're going to interact with me. I'm wondering if you would tell us a little bit about. Is there anything different that you would say that you did to come out of the gate the way you did and to create a name for yourself and to be making your mark here in this industry so early on without having any prior experience?
I listened to my coach. I listened to my coach. I connected with people. I connected as much as I could with everybody that I could. Built relationships. Relationships are huge. And I believed in myself. I believed that what I was doing was exactly where I needed to be. There wasn't doubt. I didn't let fear creep in and decide for me what I needed to do.
Right.
I just decided that I was going to be successful.
Right. So you decided to be successful. Now, some people listening might think, well, I'd like to be able to make that decision, but don't I need to first, have made money, or do I need more resources that I don't already have, or is there something I'm missing? A lot of times I find, Jen, that people tend to disqualify themselves. In other words, to erect that wall of demarcation between themselves and leaders who have come before them. Okay, but you didn't do that. You did the exact opposite, right? So any ideas or tips or even methods, right? Like, we alluded to your cat videos before, which for those who don't know, this is one of the things that Jenn did coming right out as a marketer, was posting cat videos on Facebook, which sounds ridiculous to me, but hey, look, there it is. There's the sales volume, right? So any tips?
John, I was just real and raw and honest. I was so excited from the beginning. I jumped in, and I didn't have any money to show anybody that I had made, because you have to start somewhere. You have to start with zero. Everybody starts with zero, and I just shared my enthusiasm and my excitement, and I transferred that, to other people. And then as people started becoming interested, I built relationships, and they became such good friends with me and trusted me. And so I think that's definitely just believing in this opportunity as an opportunity before you see the income is the most important thing that you can do.
Right, because you mentioned, in fact, it sounded like you were quoting your coach, transferring enthusiasm, right? So you just defined in the simplest terms the essence of sales, right? Now, you can't do that if you don't believe yourself, if you don't know yourself, right? And we've talked about this before, not only you and I, but on these calls and in lectures and stuff that I've done, that, enthusiasm, the having or not having of it, is predicated on what you know or don't know, right? The last four letters of the word enthusiasm in the English language are IASM, which stands for I am sold myself. Well, if you're not sold, well, then you don't know, and then nobody else can know. So in this case, Jenn, you transferred that which you already had, but you cannot give what you have not got, right? So you had to have it first, and that's where I think everybody, Jenn just gave you a real gold nugget right there, okay? And that is to have no reservations about where you're going. In the classic book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, he talks about doing things in the certain way, certainty, right? The absence of doubt, that knowingness. And that's what Jenn demonstrated via social media, kitten videos, whatever, right? So here's the thing, everybody, especially for our new members who might be listening in, and I know there are many of you, and that is, well, what are the specific tactics, right? What are the tactics that I need to learn, like the specific doingness of how to place the ad? Well, you get all that in the training. I didn't train Jenn on any of that. Okay, anyone who's been with a coach here, that we're not getting into tactics or specific doingness of marketing, right? That's all covered in our products, and then like on Wednesday nights with our On the Rise webinars and stuff like that. And frankly, there are people who are better at that than me. I would argue maybe Jenn is better at that than me, right? I'm really good at some other stuff, and Jenn's got her strengths, and we all have our strengths. But a lot of times, Jenn, people focus on secondary issues, like the latest Facebook technique or something. But that's not it, right? If it wasn't kitten videos on Facebook for you, it would have been something else. Just like it is something else for every other top earner here. So my point is, the point is who's doing all this. That's the point. It's not what are they doing or by what tactical decisions they've executed, but more importantly is who is doing it. Someone of certainty, someone who has some enthusiasm to transfer, or someone who is bankrupt themselves, psychologically, emotionally, what have you. Okay, is that the person who's going to attract these people who are also looking to be led? I think not. I think not. I think this requires leadership, which is a prerequisite. Now, that's all by degree, right? Your reach, Jen, your reach has grown as a result of you putting into the marketplace your message of knowingness and enthusiasm, okay, and knowing where you're going. I mean, this is such a personal thing, and yet it is outrageously attractive to your ideal prospect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not to, Joe Skeptic or something, right? I mean, they'll go right past. And
Right.
That's fine. That's a wonderful time saver. But in the sorting process, you're a magnet to people who are on that same frequency. And so, anyway, I didn't mean to go on a monologue myself, but all the stuff you talked about here kind of, brought up those ideas for me. So thank you.
Well, and another thing you were just saying, that's your niche. Those are the people that you're attracting to you, and that's who you want on your team, and that's who you want to work with, are like-minded people. And you're detracting those people that just go by. That's ultimately what you want.
Nice. Yeah. And so you're not selling to some faceless public, right? But from the faceless public, you will find those who are predisposed and pre-motivated to want to participate with the path that you're walking as a leader, right? Which is a known path. You're not in a state of mystery yourself. Otherwise, well, who needs you, right? And back to the whole belief and enthusiasm thing. So, yeah, this is good stuff. Hey, what do you want to do? You want to open it up for Q&A now, or I don't know what your scheme is here with your giveaway bit, but you tell me and I'll get it done.
I say let's do some Q&A, and then we can do the giveaway then.
Okay, here we go. All right, everybody. So Q&A session has started. What that means is that you can raise your hand, and the technological means of doing so is by clicking on the Raise Your Hand button if you are on the free conference call app. And the alternative way, if you're dialing in with a phone or via Skype, would be to click *6. *6 will unmute your line, or will raise your hand, and then I will unmute you individually. We do have our first caller in queue. Here we go, and it is somebody who we get to hear from pretty often on these calls. Mr. Jagdish, you're live on the air, sir.
Hey, John, how are you doing?
Good.
I hope you feel better soon.
Oh, I'm doing good. It's just, getting the throat lubricated or whatever. So, yeah, I need to drink some more water or something.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for this awesome session.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you.
I just have a quick question for you. So the cat videos you post on Facebook are world famous by now.
Well, they are in John's eyes, I suppose.
Yeah, he made it a point to tell us about this unique strategy multiple times.
Yeah, well, it's just so different,
It is.
Did you actually get to see it, Jagdish? Did you see an exhibit?
No, I went to Jen's Facebook page just now, and she's probably hidden them somewhere.
or she moved on to other stuff. But yeah, when she first started marketing, she would take like a iPhone video or whatever of her kitten playing, and then like superimpose on like half of the video screen, like pictures of her, she made some money this week, right? So here's like, look at the cat, but now look at the, income testimonial. See the cat, see the income testimonial, and click below, and we can talk some more. That was it. So kind of sneaky.
Cool.
John, you think it was sneaky, but it was just me being real. People like cats. I mean, I think I saw somebody has 7 cats on the chat.
Right. Oh, and look, I
Wow.
don't mean anything derogatory by sneaky. I just mean, here's what probably the better word would be unusual and creative.
And creative. I
And
was thinking of creative as well, yeah.
yeah, and look, here's the other part of that is it's untested waters, right? I've never seen anybody do that before. So yeah, I'm going to make a big deal out of that. You know, it's like the other thing, Jagdish, not to hijack your question. We haven't heard your question yet, but I did this video where I was walking my dog and just talking to my iPhone and sent it to anybody who would listen. And this is when I was launching another business, and I was in profit in a week just with a dog walking video, which became legendary. This was years and years ago. But like who does that? Who takes a video while walking their dog? What about lighting? What about proper sound and stuff? Just being real, like what Jen was saying. So in her case, she's a cat girl. I'm a dog guy, but it all works. Maybe that's the answer. We just have to include, you know, cute animals and stuff. I don't know. So.
Well, that certainly excludes me. I don't have a dog, don't have a cat, don't plan to get either.
Yeah.
Because it's my wife says it's either me or a pet.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, you know, the other thing, Jagdish, is when I was working a job, I had no time to walk my damn dog, right? I was sitting in a cubicle all day. So for me, that's lifestyle. Look at me, man. I'm walking my dog. That's right. I'm not sitting in a cubicle.
especially middle of the day.
Yeah.
So my question is, Jen, so in your experience with DA, you've obviously done some things very right off the bat. So other than Facebook, are there any other strategies that you're using, or is it predominantly Facebook as your source of updating leads and members and trials and all of that stuff?
I use free social media, so I use Facebook and I'll use Instagram. So that's generally about it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, you know, honestly, it's about the relationships that I got to build with people, and so, you know, as soon as somebody showed me that they were interested, I wanted to know everything I could about them, and you know, just made sure that they knew how this could help them, you know, in their situation, what their hopes and their dreams were.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'm about to send you a friend request on Facebook. I hope I will be accepted.
Well, absolutely.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jagdish. We're going to go on to our next caller, who is Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, you're live on the air. Hello,
Sorry
Ronnie.
about that. I hit the wrong button.
You hit the wrong button?
I was trying to hit the chat, and I ended up hitting this. I'm new at this, so I didn't knew what all the buttons were.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Ronnie, that's all right. Thank you for joining us on this
Well,
call.
what would you like to say now that you've got the mic?
Well, she was talking about cats, and I had commented on the chat that I presently work with 7 cats on my desk.
Okay. and
So,
is that workable? They don't like mash on your keyboard or anything?
No, they're pretty well trained to stay away from the keyboard.
That is talent. My cat.
And I work in an accounting
my cat
office,
pounces
so
on my
that
fingers.
gets to be very interesting. Not a vet office.
Awesome.
You know, something that I have found, like John was talking about, he said that maybe I moved on to new ways or whatever. You know, I do like to keep it interesting because our lives are very active. And so, for example, yes, we got a kitten, but that was just demonstrating that, you know, there's freedom now in my life to be able to have a pet. I'm not always gone to work, you know, where the cat has to be in wherever full time. But then we went down to Disney World because of the income that I had made with DA, and that was, you know, something I was able to share because of that freedom that we had now. So it's not necessarily, you know, just about animals or whatever. It's, you know, about the freedom that we get to have, and what does that look like as as myself or as my family, and how can I share that with the world?
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jen. And thank you, Ronnie. I'm glad you came out here, even though it was accidental. So now we all know who you are. We'll be looking forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Ronnie. All right, we're going to go to our next caller, which is Katie. Hey, Katie, you're live on the air.
Hi, thanks for having me. This was, I think, one of my favorite calls so far.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. It's definitely very inspiring. I kind of teared up a little bit listening to you a little bit, so that's good.
Not teared up from boredom, I hope.
No, not at all. It was very inspirational. It was great. I kind of have two questions, and one is just really about the events coming up because I am new to DA. I just had my first meeting with my traffic coach tonight. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's like so exciting.
That is so exciting, yes.
So my question is I need to find out a little bit more about the March event coming up to see if I can make it work. But I also became an Ascend, and I didn't know if I had to choose which event I could make. Which one would you recommend?
John, do you want to answer that?
Sure.
Because I have yet to go to Ascend and Peak and Apex, so I would love to hear what John has to say on that.
Well, let me say this, Katie. I go to all events, and in the case of Digital Altitude, I'm the MC and co-host, right? So I'm on staff, so that's just so you know, I'll qualify it with that. However, there was a time when I wasn't on staff, and I was an affiliate in a company, and I'd go to all the events. Now, we do have 3 big conferences per year. So we got Ascend, Peak, and Apex. And we have 2 marketing mastery events. So, on an annual basis, I would go to 5 events. Now, if you had to choose, then choose based on, timing. Like if you have something else that I can't be in San Diego in March or something, well then, definitely plan on being at the Ascend. But I would say, would you want to wait until next year, like 2019, to go to your Ascend event? Probably not. I'd go. Plus, I got a little tip on where we may be going because I was in a staff meeting with Michael Force and the other department heads today, and it's going to be awesome. So,
So Katie, I want to just tune in for a second. I actually thought that I couldn't go to the one in October, but just because I had other plans. But honestly, I figured out what I could do to get there. I moved stuff around. I talked with the people that I had planned for, and it turned out that it was okay to move that stuff around. Sometimes we just have to navigate things to be able to do what we need to do and go where we need to go, because I can tell you that the MME in October was, like Agnes just said, yes, it was fantastic. And if you can get there, you need to get there because your business, the launch of your business, it's so worth it. It is so worth it.
Okay, great. Awesome to know. Thank you.
Did you have another question?
Yeah, it was really, if you could give me one tip just starting, other than the MME, what would it be?
Take it one day at a time.
Oh, I do that already.
Okay.
I'll reiterate that. I'll enforce that more.
And don't quit. It'll get hard, but don't quit because it is worth it.
Okay.
It is so worth it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Good stuff. Thank you, Katie. And it looks like we have nobody else in queue. Anybody else want to talk with Jen live and in person? Now is your chance. *6 if you're on a phone or a Skype, or the button on your app. Going once, going twice, and it looks like we are done. All right, so that wraps up Q&A. And Jen, thank you.
Yes.
What are we going to do now with your giveaway thing here? How do you want to do that?
Well, I was kind of scrolling back through and looking at a name that popped up a lot. And
Oh, in the chat?
Yeah. And there was actually Katie. Katie, your name popped up a lot. You were...
Oh, there she is, Katie. Woo! Okay, great. So, Katie, you need to contact Jen. Is that how you want to do this?
Yep, I want to get in touch with Katie, and winner, winner, she says. And Katie, let's just get in touch, and we'll be in contact about how to get that to you.
Okay, so private message, Facebook, right? Is that, you live on Facebook, right?
My cat does.
All right. Okay, so Katie, go hit Jenn Wiemann on Facebook. Jenn with two N's, Wiemann. Did I get the I and the E in the correct order?
Yep, and
W-I-E?
usually I say it Jenn Wiemann, but when John's talking, it's all good. Wiemann, either way.
Right. Okay, so Wiemann, W-I-E or W-E-I?
Wiemann.
Right. Okay. I should know that. All right. So good stuff. Katie, congratulations. There's that. And this is the first ever giveaway on a Black Diamond call ever. So who knows? Maybe you'll set a new precedent here. So Jenn, as always, thanks again for being such a great example, not only for obviously what you're capable of yourself and benefiting your family, trips to Disney World and all this, but of course, out here in the marketplace and with our Digital Altitude community, you are setting a great example. You are a rising star here, and this is just the beginning. My goodness, you're not even 6 months into this. So, yeah, guys, watch out for Jenn. It's going to be great. And, of course, come meet her live and in person at Marketing Mastery San Diego, March 2018. And, Jenn, closing comments from you before we wrap up this baby.
John, you just keep rocking it. I can't wait to get on and hear what you have to say next.
Yeah, me too. I always wonder what I'm going to say next.
Straight off the cuff.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up with that. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning for our wake-up call with Mr. Straight. And in the meantime, have a great night. You absolutely deserve it. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.